Looking at example 1, highlighting learning target number 1.5a. So what we want to do is label the coordinate plane, then plot and state the quadrant where each coordinate pair will be located. So go ahead, hit pause, see if you can work through each of these examples, and when you're finished, hit play again and we'll work through them together. So now that you have worked through it together, let's begin by labeling the coordinate plane. And so the first thing that we need to label are the axes. So the x-axis, as you recall, is the horizontal axis. And then the y-axis is the vertical axis. And we always use the bold, heavy lines that usually run through the middle as our axes. We also could label the origin. So we could have that as our origin. And we may recall that 0, 0 is the origin. And then if we were to label our quadrants, can't remember which direction they go, what is the first letter in coordinate? It is a C. And so we begin in this, draw a C. And that tells us that our quadrants are quadrant, use a different color. We have quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. Okay, so we have now labeled our coordinate plane with our quadrants. So now we need to plot our points. And remember, this is our x point is always the first one in the ordered pair. And the y is the second number in the ordered pair. And we always plot the y first. So beginning at the origin, or the x first, I'm sorry, we always plot the x first. So beginning at the origin, we move to the right by 4 because numbers increase moving to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we move the y direction. In this case, we're going to move down. And so this will be our plot of 4, -3. And we can see that we are now in the fourth quadrant. And a way that we can remember that, if we just want to look at the number, is the fourth quadrant is a positive x value and a negative y value. So we have a positive and a negative. Let's plot our next coordinate. So we have -2, so we're going to move to the left 2. And then we're going to move down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so we have our next coordinate of -2, -5. And so we can see that we have found ourselves in quadrant 3. And as a reminder, quadrant 3 is a negative x and a negative y. Negative x, negative y. And let's put that back in. Okay, C. So our coordinate is 1, 7. So we will move to the right 1 because we're always going to move to the x direction first, and then we have to move up 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let me double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So our coordinate is 1, 7. We find ourselves in the first quadrant. And to have a quick system of being able to look at it, we know that this is going to be a positive x value and a positive y value. Our last coordinate, -3. Moving to the left on the x3, -3. Up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have a coordinate of -3, 4. We have found ourselves in the second quadrant. That is a negative x value followed by a positive y value. And so we have successfully labeled our coordinate plane, we have plotted the ordered pairs, and we have located the quadrant in which they fall.